Hi everyone, this is Ravi again. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. So in this session, I'm going to cover very important topics related to industry best practices in managing test plans and test suites in Azure DevOps. I'll be dividing this session into two parts. The first part will cover some of the topics and the second part will cover the remaining topics. I'm going to show you example in Azure DevOps application for each best practice. This session will be very helpful for you guys. Please subscribe to my channel and click on bell icon for future videos. Following are the agenda items for this particular industry best practices topic. The first one is best practices for creating test plans in Azure DevOps for waterfall process. The second one is best practices for creating test plans in Azure DevOps for Agile process. Third one, best practices for creating test suites in Azure DevOps for waterfall process. And then creating test suites in Azure DevOps for Agile process. And also, I'm going to tell you about the best practices in configuring the test plans in Azure DevOps. And next topics will be the best practices in configuring test suites and what are the industry best practices in linking test cases with requirements. And also I'm going to explain the best practices in managing the regression suites in Azure DevOps test plans. And then I'm going to explain you the best practice to manage and execute the regression suites at release level or sprint level in Azure DevOps. Okay, so now let me discuss the best practices in creating test plans and creating test suites for CMMI and also Agile process. Okay, so let me start with a best practices for CMMI in creating test plans and test suites. Okay, so for that, let me go back to my Azure DevOps private tenant. Okay, so where there is a project called e-commerce. Okay, under e-commerce, if I go to project settings and then project configurations, I can see that there are two iterations that are being created. Let's assume the first iteration is related to the release of waterfall model. Okay, and let's assume the second iteration means second release. Okay, which is related to agile process. Okay, so I'm just showing example that one release is considered as a waterfall process and the other release is considered as a agile process. So I created these two separate processes within same project, which is not possible, but just to explain you how to manage the test plans and test suites for two different processes I'm, I have created in the same projects. Okay, now so under agile process, under release 2 we have three different sprints. Okay, and for waterfall, because for waterfall we will not have any sprints, I don't have any sub iterations. Okay, now let's discuss how to create test plans for a CMMI releases. Okay, so for that, let me navigate to test plans. So once you navigate to test plans, so you have to access the all test plans. For that, you have to click on this arrow where you can go back to the parent test plans navigation. Okay, so now for let me first create a new test plan for waterfall release. Okay, click on new test plan and then name your new test plan. Let me name it as release 1.0 test plan. Okay, and now here, while creating test plan, it is a best practice to select the area path and also to select the iteration for which, or to select the iteration or release for which you are creating a test plan. Okay, so under release 1, so this is release 1. I have module 1 and module 2 areas. So this test plan belongs to both of them. That's why I'm selecting a parent of module 1 and module 2 area path. Okay, and now iteration. So this test plan, whatever I'm creating, that I am creating for the iteration called release 1.0 CMMI, right, which I just showed you in the project configurations. So I'm selecting this. Why do we need to select area path and iteration? So it's a best practice because, so if you select area path and iteration while creating a test plan, so when you create the test suites, it is very easy for us to pull the test cases corresponding to the requirements of this particular releases or iterations. Okay, let me show you that how it is useful. Okay, so now once you select area path and iteration, you need to click on create. So now a new test plan called release 1 test plan has been created. Okay, now by default a parent test suite with the same test plan will be created by Azure DevOps. So that means under this test plan a new test suite has been created. Now in creating a test suites at release level, what is the best practice? What I would suggest, we have to first create a parent test suite, okay, called static test suite. Okay, first we'll create a static test suite called functional test cases. Okay, and also I'm going to create another static test suite called regression test cases. Okay, done. So let's leave about regression test cases because that I'm going to cover in later sessions. Okay, so now under functional test cases, this is your the main functional test case suite. Okay, so what is the best practice to create your test suites? Okay, so the best way to create test suites is creating a requirement based suites. Okay, so what is the advantage for this? Let me show you. Okay, if you click on requirement based suite, so it is going to pull a basically a query window. When I run the query here, if you see, I'm getting basically the user stories which are under release 1 only getting displayed. Okay, let me show you how many user stories we have in total. Okay, let me just go back again. So if you see here under work items, I have user story 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm seeing only 1 and 2 because this 1 and 2 is mapped to the iteration called release 1.1, 1.0. Okay, so now if you go back to test plans again, so when I click on new suite, a requirement based suite, because we configured the test plan to a area path, hence it is retrieving only user stories corresponding to that area path, right? So that's how it is very helpful for us to configure a test plan with the valid area path and iteration. Because what I observe is whenever they create test plans in generally, they ignore about area path and iteration. which is not a good practice, because it will make you easy to select your requirement based suits. Okay, so now once I click on requirement based suit, so now I'm selecting, I want to create a test suite to pull all the test cases related to this user story. Okay, click on that row and click on create suite. So what it will do, all the test cases linked to that particular user stories will be pulled by default. Okay, so let me also create another regression suite, because I have another requirement under release 1.1 1.0. Okay, click on this. Okay, again by default it is going to pull only requirements corresponding to release 1. Okay, now select user story 2, click on create. So once you click on create, it automatically pulls a test case corresponding to that requirement, because I already created test cases from work items by using work items module. Okay, so now, so this way, while configuring your test plan, it is very important for us to configure your area path and iteration, so that it is very easy for us to create your test suites based on the requirement, and your test cases will be pulled, all the test cases will be pulled automatically. Okay, so now, so now so we have covered the best practices in creating test plan and creating test suites for CMMI. Okay, and one more thing, under test suites. Okay, okay, so let me just step back again. Okay, so we have created a main test plan. Under test plan we created two suites. One is regression test cases, one suite, static suite, functional test cases, another static suite. So under functional test cases, again we created two requirement based suites. So if you have many requirements, you can just keep creating the requirement based suites for rest of the requirements. Okay, so hope you understand, right? So now, what is the next topic? So how can we create? So next topic is, how can we create test plans and test suites in for agile process. Okay, so let me go back to test plans and test suites for agile process. Okay, so now just go back here, go back to your main test plans folder. Okay, and now let's see how should we, what is the best practice in creating test plans and test suites for agile process. Okay, okay, so for agile process there are two ways to create test plans, but the best way is I'm gonna suggest you. Okay, the first way of creating test plans for agile process is create a test plan for one entire release. Okay, and create your test suites under that particular test plan based on the sprints. And another process is create test plan for each sprint. Okay, and then under each sprint you are going to create the requirement based suits. Okay, so let me just tell you what is the difference. Okay, in the first way what we'll do, we'll create, so what is the release 2.0 is our agile release, right? Okay, so test plan, create one test plan. Okay, here I'm going to select our area path because it is release 2.0, so I'm going to select the area path under release 2.0. Okay, and then what is the iteration, it's not release 1, it's a release 2.0. Okay, I selected that and click on create. So this is one way of creating a test plan at a release level. Okay, what is another way? Another way is create test plans for each sprint. Okay, like release 2.0 sprint 1 and release 2, here release 2. Okay, and then click on create. In the same way, you are going to create again another test plan for sprint 2, release 2.0 sprint 2. Okay, select the iteration, area path corresponding to your release 2, iteration release 2, and create. So this way you can create test plan for each sprint. So what is the advantage if you manage the test plan at release level for Agile, and what are the disadvantages if you manage the test plans at sprint level? The main disadvantage, if you manage the test plans at sprint level, you cannot show the dashboards, basically the metrics and dashboards, for entire release. You have to create the dashboards at sprint level. Okay, but you cannot get an entire dashboard which represents your entire release. Okay, but if you create a test plan at release level, you can create dashboards at entire release level, or you can create dashboards at sprint level. So what I'll suggest the first method, where you'll be creating a test plan entire release level. That is my best suggestion for the best practice. Okay, this will be the best practice in the industries. Okay, so once you create your test plan, so now how do we create test suites for agile practice? Okay, agile process. Here I'm going to create a static suite with sprint 1. Okay, and I'm going to create another static suite called sprint 2, and also let me rename this sprint 2, and then I'm going to create another static suite sprint 3. So under the each sprint, I'm going to create 2 folders or 1 folder. Okay, let's assume if you are performing functional as well as regression for each sprint, then you have to create a sub test suite called functional testing, and you'll be creating another called regression testing. But in some cases, the regression testing will be performed at end of the sprint, basically. So in that case, you leave only functional testing here, create another static suite under sprint 2 as well, called functional testing, and under sprint 2, sprint 3, you will be creating functional testing, and also you should be creating a regression testing static suite, right? So now, so this is the structure that you can follow. So now under again functional testing, now I'm going to create a test suite, requirement based test suite. Okay, so when I click on requirement based test suite, your query will be opened, query window, and click on run query. Because I have configured this test plan to the release 2, that's why I'm getting only user stories 3, 4, 5 related to release 2. Okay, so now I want to create a test suite for release story, user story 3. Create suite, right? So by default, all the test cases related to requirement 1 will be pulled. Okay, in the same way, if you want to create a test suite again under sprint 2, you will be pulling requirement based suite. Okay, under sprint 2, again I have to select another requirement. So let's assume the other requirement, user story 4, is part of sprint 2. So just select create suite. By default, the test cases related to user story will be pulled. Currently I don't have any test cases, that's why it did not pull any test case. Okay, so this way, for your agile process, you'll be creating a parent test plan at release level. Under that particular test plan, you are going to create a static test suits for each sprint, and under each sprint you are going to segregate your functional test cases and regression test cases by a static folder called functional testing and another static folder called regression testing. And then you will be creating requirement based suites under each static folder. So this is the best practice for your managing test plans and test suites for agile process. Okay, so next, what is our agenda? How can we configure? What is the best practice in configuring the test suites? I already showed you what is the best practice in configuring test plans, correct? So let me just explain you how can we configure test suites. Okay, what is the best practice? Okay, so let me go back to again my Azure DevOps tenant. Okay, so here, so the configuring test suites, there is no difference between CMMI or Agile. Okay, so let me just go to one test plan just now which we created. Okay, release one test plan, and here what we have to do is, if in case, let's assume this is your requirement based test suite. Okay, so if the test cases, if you are executing in multi browsers or in different environments, then you have to configure your entire test suite. That means the same test cases I would like to execute in Chrome, the same test cases I would like to execute in IE, the same test cases I would like to execute in mobile, something like that. Okay, so for that, it is a very best practice to add the configurations instead of adding a duplicate test cases again by changing your precondition or by changing the browser verbiage. Okay, what you can do is click on more options, click on assign configurations, and then here you need to, okay, sorry, not assign configurations, basically we have to create configurations. Okay, for that, what we'll do is, we have to first, before we assign the configurations, we have to add the configuration. So go to configurations, and then here, let me add new configurations, new test configuration called Chrome. Okay, browser, save, and I have added even IE browser. Okay, and if you want to add another test configuration like probably iPhone, okay, mobile, save it. So now you go back to test plans now. So now you can configure your test cases, basically your test suite, so that the test cases can be executed in multiple environments, okay, or browsers. What we can do is go to test suite and click on assign configurations, and now all you need to do is you have to assign the configurations for this entire suite. So I'm selecting Chrome. Currently, how many test cases we have in this suite? We have two test cases, right? So once I select these all configuration, click on save, what happens, if you go to execute, the test cases will get multiplied. See, if you see each test case repeating 4 times, 1 1 1 1 2 2 2 2 2, but the configuration parameter is different here. The first case will be executing on Windows 10. Second, I mean the same test case I'm going to execute on IE, the same test case I'm going to execute on Chrome, and then iPhone. In the same way, second test case I'm going to execute on these four, right? So in define, you see only two test cases. You actually author two test cases, but you are executing on different configurations. Okay, so it's very best practice for us to maintain or assign the configurations at test suite level. Here, the requirement based test suite level. Okay, so we have completed covering the other topic, which is best practices in configuring test suites. Okay, so I think for this particular session, I'll stop here, and then rest of the topics I'm going to cover, very important topics, I'm going to cover in next video session. Okay, so it is really important to know all the best practices for you guys so that you can implement the same in your organizations. Okay, so you guys please subscribe to my channel and click on bell icon so that you will receive the notifications for my all YouTube videos. Thank you all.